Thank you very much. We now move on to Mario Pascarella, who is a director shipping origination of Melior Bank Gruppo. Over to you.
Thank you, Anne. Well,
just a point, Mario is a special case because his bank came in the market when the market was at drop and the floor and not on the peak. So.
Fabrizio, thank you for your assist. And although the shipping market, the climate of the shipping market is still, critical, I had the chance to look at this market on two different bank angles. The first one, because I used to work for the largest shipping bank in the world, and where our approach to the market was mainly based on the asset value, and maybe this was one of the critical element of the crisis of the bank. Now, working for an Italian and domestic bank, which is the youngest in the shipping market, but not a tourist bank, we are looking at two conditions. First one, the equity story of the client, of the company, and secondly, the rating of the company and at the end of the project. Maybe in this case we can have the right mix to finance, the good investments, good ship owners. And on our bank, currently, we started in May, and since May we have had $100 million of approved commitment for 6 vessels, and we have also other 5 projects, new buildings and refinancing projects in the pipeline because our commitment, the commitment that the shareholders gave to Melior Banca was 600 million euros to be invested in 3 years. So this is, and we think to focus our investments on these 2 criteria, equity story and rating of the company. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. We now move on to Alex Ryland, is an Executive Director at DNB Norbank ASA in Shipping, Offshore and the Logistics Division. Alex, can we have your very brief views? Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say I'm not totally responsible for the reduction in international ship finance. I think it's interesting, where probably DNB is the only one represented today. And in a way, we've seen a perfect storm whereby the banks have faced massive problems across Europe, and also the shipping companies as well. So we've got the Germans and the UK banks that are very much paralyzed at the moment. The Scandinavian banks and the French banks are probably the more active international ship finance banks that we see. And then you have some of the domestic banks within Italy and Greece. Fabrizio wanted me to touch on whether the international banks had moved more towards the, say, the domestic banks of Italy. And I think kind of with 2 hats, I've worked now for 2 banks, and the previous bank was very much name lending and asset-based. DNB, which is one of the most active banks on an international scale now, also has really a 3rd string to that, and that's corporate governance and financial transparency and strength. And it's an equal weighting with us. You have to tick all 3 boxes. And you could say, well, in an ideal market, yes, but it's a market at the moment where we can pick and choose. And don't get me wrong, it's not from an arrogant point of view, but there are a lot of companies out there and a lot less competition. So I think that is the ideal scenario that we're in at the moment. I think as it is a cyclical business, and I think things will move back, not necessarily with specific institutions, but gradually towards the asset finance focus as the whole market recovers and all the financials look better.
And we are lucky because in the room, in the floor, there are not tourists.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Last but not least, Massimo Zanieri, Head of Shipping, Finance Italy of UniCredit Corporate Banking SPA since 2009 within the Corporate and Investment Banking Division. The floor is yours.
No, I
for
have
the
a
last
message.
2
Sorry, I
minutes.
have a message for Francesco. Next time, not anymore the last one, please the first one, because everything has been already said by everybody. So it's not easy to talk in this really mode.
I hope you'll be the first one also on the sponsorship list.
Okay. Okay. No, but not, yeah, but, you know. So, what can I add? I completely agree with Gabriele Gori, transparency and collaboration, cooperation between the bank and the customer. Also, Mr. Barlozzetti was said now banks are looking in a different way. To me, a lot of things, because also from my side, I spent 15 years with Commerzbank, who is now, after the purchasing of Deutsche Schiffbank, the second largest financier in the world. But what I want to summarize that we as Italian banks, we are, our interests are the clients, are not anymore the single deal. We are focused on our clients, and we want to give value to this. And this is the reason why last year we as UniCredit completely changed our approach and built up a new team. We have now 8 professionals in the shipping sector. We are prepared to tailor-made solution, and we can support our clients. But as a final comments, I want to say that in our opinion, the crisis is not over, but we can sleep much more better than a year ago. The fleet oversupply and the financial turmoil are still with us, but there are emerging nations such as India and China who are growing and will grow. So this is the positive situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings to a close this third session, where we managed to shrink an hour's space into 3/4 of an hour. A round of applause for our excellent speakers and panelists. Thank you very much indeed.
So the lunch, which is hosted by Cambiaso Risso, will be served on the roof floor of the Hotel Excelsior. And I hope that we could start almost punctually at 3 o'clock as planned. Let's say 3:05. Thank you.